Hi, my name is Miss Rachel, and today we are going to be making our own garlands. So we're going to make a couple different ones. We are going to make a tissue paper tassel, a paper pendant, and a pom-pom garland. And I'll show you how. For the pendant garland, you need scissors, glue, the little pendant sample that we're going to trace, ruler, pencil, and whatever paper you want. I put neon paper in, but you can use whatever you want. You can use scrapbooking paper, stuff like that. The first step is to trace your pendant. So I put it so the corner is in the corner of the paper and it's flush along the bottom of the paper. It lines up. And then just because the burlap's a little wrinkly or lumpy, I put the ruler on top. And then I'm going to trace all the way down and do that on the other side. And make sure that it goes all the way to the corner. So now I have a triangle of my pendant, and then I'm going to cut it out. So you can actually fit several of these, and I chose scrapbooking paper for mine. So you can fit one here, and you can fit one here. So you should be able to get 3 pendants in per page. Once you get all of your pendants cut out, the next thing you do is line it up on your rope, the thin rope. And I just tied a knot on the end so it'd make a loop. So if I wanted to hook it on a hook or put a push pin in my wall, I could. And so I have this, and I'm just going to line them up where I want them, right? So when you're doing this, since I made some ahead, you're going to line yours up, but I wouldn't start the first one until like maybe 8 inches. Let's see how long this is. Yeah, it's about 7.5 inches away, because when you're hanging it, you don't want it to be right where you're hanging it. When you have all your pendants lined up where you want them, you're going to fold over about a little under 1 centimeter so that you can put glue in here and attach it to your string, right? So what I do is I'm going to put it around here and line it up. The other cheater way is you can do a staple and a staple, but then you can see the silver part on the outside. And when you glue it, you're going to want to flip the whole pendant so all the white sides are on one side, except for with your Astro Brights, you have color on both sides, so it won't matter as much. So I'm going to take my glue, and I'm going to put glue along our little fold. And then all you do is fold over your yarn. You might have to push it up into the crease a little bit. Push it down. Wait a little bit to let it dry. And then I just took my scissors, and if you pull underneath, you're just going to snip. See where it's sticking out? You're just going to snip that off so it's still in line with your triangle. And make sure that you don't cut the string off. So I just lift it up a little bit and cut. So when all of them are dry, you can hang them up. And I spaced all of mine out. Like this. And you can arrange them. So I have on the same 6-foot string that you have, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pendants. That's pretty much about how much you're going to need. And now I can show you what the pendant looks like when it's all done. For the tassel garland, you will need tissue paper, which I pre-cut to 12 inches by 24 inches. This is embroidery string, but you can use any string you want. 6 feet. Pencil, ruler, and scissors. The first thing that you're going to do is fold your tissue paper in half, so hamburger style. Make sure your ends meet up, and then crease down the middle. And then you're going to fold it in half again. Edges meeting and smoothing it out. So you're going to set it up so that it opens towards you. So it's like looking inside of a card, and it's going to be horizontal. So this is the seam line fold that has all the pieces in it. Then you're going to take your ruler and just line it up with the edge. And then take your pencil and draw a straight line across. Okay, so when we're cutting, we need to stop at this line every time because this is where you're going to make the loop for the tassel. Next, you're going to turn it so the line is right here on your left side. You're going to line up the 0 in your ruler with the edge of the paper and make sure the ruler follows that line. Every ½ inch, you're going to make a little mark so that you can find it when you take the ruler away. And then you're going to turn it so your line is in front of you at the top. And what I do is there's a little like line straight across here, and I'm going to line that up with the line that goes across here so I know it's straight. And I'm going up to the first tick mark, and I'm just going to draw a straight line all the way down. This is where you're going to be cutting. And you're just going to do that all the way down your page. The straighter your lines are, the better it's going to look in the end, and you're not going to end up accidentally cutting off a tassel. So now that I have lines all the way down, I'm going to cut it out. If you're a righty, you're going to want to cut starting on the right side of the paper. If you're a lefty, you're going to want to start cutting on the left side of the paper, because then you can hold all these pieces together while you cut and it won't come apart. You have to keep them all folded still. Now that I have my fringe cut out, I'm going to open up the tissue paper. You have to do it kind of gently so that you don't break any of the tassels. And then this double tassel in the middle where it's attached still, you're going to cut all the way down the middle, because we're going to make 2 pieces for a tassel. So every tissue paper will give you 2 tassels to put on your garland. So move one of them aside. So now I just have this one. And I'm going to turn it so that the crease is pointing down. It'll make it easier to fold. And all the tassels are facing out. And you're going to want to smooth them so they stay out and don't fold under. The next thing is, this is probably the hardest part. You take a tiny bit of the end and you just start to roll it as small as you can, all the way down. And as you do it, your tassels are going to move a little bit, so you have to like kind of just rake them back out. So I'm going to smooth all these. And now I'm going to fold it in half so the tassels line up at the bottom. And you kind of make a loop. So you close it, put your finger where the little pencil mark is, and then you twist it. And the easiest way for me is I make a hole and I stick my pencil through it. And while I hold on to the part that has the pencil line, I twist it as tight as I can. And then I pull the pencil out. So now I have a little loop, and that's what I'm going to put the string through. Okay, so this is your tassel. So you can take your colors, use whichever ones you want, and make your tassels. And then we're going to string them up on the garland. So I have my tassels. I line them up along the string, and then I started stringing them on, and I'll show you how I did that. I put them about 6 to 7 inches apart, so you can do that, or you could smush them all together, but then you're going to have to make a ton of tassels, okay? And you can use 2 colors, you can use 3 colors, you can use as many colors as you want. So I have about 6 or 7 inches, and that's the point where I'm going to loop it through to. I take my string and I put it through the hole in the tassel, so now it's hanging, and I pull the string to about where I want it, so right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie a knot. So to do that, I bring the string under and over and through. It's just a regular knot like you'd tie right before you tied the bow on your shoe. And then when you have it where you want it, pull it tight, and this will keep the tassels from moving around on you when you hang it up. And then just at the end, I make a little loop, and then I tie that in just a regular knot. So under and then through the hole, and that'll give me a little hoop to hang it or put a thumbtack through. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tassels on my 6-foot string. This is the tissue paper tassel garland. And you can hang it like this or straight across. For the felt garland, you'll need wool pom-poms. So instead of being fuzzy, they're pressed wool. You will need a big gauge needle, which is included. And then I did 6 feet of very fine cord, which is also included. The first thing that you're going to do is take one end of your garland string, make a small loop, and tie that knot on the end by putting the loop under and through the hole. and pulling. The next step is to take the other end of your string and you're going to put it through the hole or the eye of the needle. This might take a bit for you guys. And you can pull like aspects of it through if it's not working for you. Just grab a little piece. And just give it a little bit of room so that it's not coming off on you while you're stringing stuff. If you're afraid you're going to lose it, you can pull more on the end. And I arranged my little pom-poms in the order that I wanted them so that I knew which one to string. So put yours in the order that you want them to be on the string first. Next, you're going to put the needle through the center of the pom-pom. So you're going to push it through. Pushing on the middle part. Don't put your finger in the way. And then sometimes I press on the table. You see it's coming through this way. And then you're just going to pull the needle all the way through. And then you're going to string it to where you want it on the garland. So I'm pulling it all the way down to my end. I want it right about here. Okay. So on my left side is the end of my garland with a little loop. On my right side is the string with the needle, okay? So now to get your pom-pom to stay in place, although you might not need this because they're pretty much staying in place, I'll show you one stitch though, is you're gonna put the needle in like a teeny tiny bit, barely anything, in, and then back out where the string's coming through. And this will kind of tie your pom-pom in so that it doesn't move on your string. But this cord is pretty good where you might not have to do that. So it makes like a little stitch right here. And then no matter what I do, the pom-pom is not going to move. But for the rest of these, I'm probably just going to string them because I don't think you need it on this yarn. It's not really moving a lot. So then you pick out how far you want to space out all of your pom-poms. When you're done stringing your pom-poms, you take the last end, you're going to make your little loop, and you're going to tie the knot to close it. And now, I have my pom-pom garland.